Hello, I'm Lee, I'm an intuitive, and every month I take the pulse on the themes that might show up for you energetically, psychologically, emotionally. A few of the themes this month that I'm going to be highlighting: evolving the past and how that's showing up personally and globally, the weight of the world and empathy endurance. How are you doing with everything that's going on the planet? And timeline changes and shifts in this summer, June being a reset month. So stay tuned for the full update and all of the themes. Hi everyone, welcome to the energy update for June, and I hope you're doing okay out there. Firstly, for those of you who took my Boundaries Masterclass, thank you so much for showing up and joining us. I'll share more about that at the end of the video because it is now available in full now for those of you who would like to experience it. But let's dive in on some of the themes for this month. I have quite a few to cover. Number one, evolving the past. We are on spin cycle with past energies and storylines showing up globally and personally. This theme links to last month's Shaking the Tree of Identity. So one of the themes that I was given last month was how so many of us are going through these identity shifts, and that can show up for you in a very physical, literal way in your life, or it could be a very internal process. You're becoming someone new in order to move into the next phase of your life. And of course, as a world, we're going through an enormous identity shift. One of the messages that came for the month of June is recognizing that we're going to be on spin cycle with past energies and storylines. And how that can look is going to be a little different for each of us. But globally, this can look like echoes of the past rising. Now, when I heard that, I thought, well, I feel like we've been seeing a lot of that play out lately, certainly in this last 3-4 months, but over the last couple of years, you keep seeing these echoes of past oppressive energies, controlling energies, destructive energies showing up in the world. And the message is that they are going to continue to keep rising and show up, but they aren't necessarily going to bloom. So as we see things going on around the world, it can trigger in us and for us a fear or a response to it because it's something that's in the timeline of this planet. It's in our ancestral line, it's in our memory, and for some of us that can come through past life recall. But one of the things in this period of time is part of the healing arc of this time. And it's always tricky to say the healing arc of this time because I know that the times we're in right now can break your heart, break you down, can leave many feeling hopeless about the future or the present. But there is a healing wave at work. And the message they were giving me is this spin cycle of past events is part of it. So globally, we're having opportunities to see similar energies rising around us and choose to respond or act or show up differently. This is tricky with the whole powerlessness theme, which I'm going to come to in a couple of points. Often I think there is a perception that we as a people are powerless to bring change to our systems, our governments. And that's not actually what this next decade is going to be about. This next decade is going to be about a power shift in us as a people and what we can do to affect change on the planet. So even though we're not there yet, we're not at that point where that evolution and revolution is more visible to us. That's what we're walking towards and that's what we're moving towards. So a lot of the events that we're seeing play out around us right now that you're having a very visceral response to and others are having a very visceral response to, there are historic roots in all of these events that we're being given an opportunity to clean up and clear up. Now, cleaning up or clearing up the global situation is always going to feel, for many of us, overwhelming. How do we do that? This is a massive job, but where we can create change and have very focused intent around our own shifts is personally. And that's the other side of this. So personally, this spin cycle of past events and storylines showing up can look like behaviors of yours that are old or have been part of you beginning to fade, beginning to die off, beginning to no longer feel right. Things that you used to love or things that you used to do no longer make any sense because you're moving into a new phase. It can also look like the healing of past relationship wounds. This can mean the person who perhaps you had a tricky time with or a falling out comes back into your life, and there is some kind of healing that takes place between the two of you. But equally, we don't always get to heal it with the same person that we went through the challenge with. Sometimes someone else comes along and gives us an opportunity to replay the same events. So the key here is the phrase spin cycle. Spin cycle is very fast, and that's the message they were giving. They were saying that you're going to have past events, past emotions, past storylines coming up quite fast, both personally and globally. So for those of you who are choosing to, as much as you can, ride out the storm in the world right now and stay contained and look after yourself and your own balance and your own well-being as much as you can without getting too lost in what's going on outside, you'll be finding you'll be having lots of epiphanies, and they'll be coming very, very fast. And the trick is to let them move through you without thinking you need to act on them, change anything because of them. Just let it all wash through you. Think of it as a washing machine that's going through you. June, there is going to be an acceleration of this. So you might want to just plan some extra space here and there if you're already feeling like that's moving through you. But the end results are that we come out the other side no longer carrying that stuff, no longer being dictated to by that stuff that we're carrying, our past conditioning, past programming, past experiences. So this is a really good time for healing. Any kind of healing you choose to do or focus, June is going to be an exceptional month for that. And there is going to be a certain level of space around healing for you personally in June. So transformation will be the end result of everything that we're going through right now, but it can be tough as we're going through it. So the next big theme is the weight of the world and empathy endurance. How are you doing with it all? I don't know about you. There are certain things that come along and just hit me harder than others. And then there are other things that I have a little bit more of a break around, I guess, around empathy. And one of the things that my guides have been saying recently is there's a limit to how much empathy we can run for everything going on outside us. And this is a really good time for empaths to learn new relationships to boundaries around your empathy. So you may have heard of the phrase compassion fatigue. It can be common in a caring profession. It can be common for people whose compassion is a part of their job, that there comes a point when they run out of that energy to give out, to extend, to feel and sense what's going on outside them. I think it's fair to say that in the last 3 years, compassion fatigue might be wearing some of us out because of everything that's going on. It doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you don't have compassion for what's going on. But it means that getting the balance between how much energy you have to be out there helping or getting in the energy of things versus cultivating your own energy field as well. And that dance between the two, really perfecting that, beginning to listen to yourself and recognizing, oh no, today I just don't have it, so I can't give it. I would love to, and my old programming tells me that I'm supposed to give it and I should be out there. No, that's part of the identity shift that I'm talking about. We're being asked to develop empathy endurance because it's going to be needed in these years that we're in right now. There's always going to be something out there that needs your help, wants your help, needs your attention. But if each of us are very clear about who we're here to be and what we're here to give and when we can give it, then we will take care of each other and ourselves through that pattern. So especially if you're someone who has a kind of, I'm here to save the world, I'm here to uplift the world, you might be going through some really tough times right now because you're being asked to drop that role. It doesn't mean that your natural gift of compassion and empathy won't still be a part of your life. It just means you're evolving how you use it and your relationship to it. So as you're evolving, you're being asked to let go of some old behaviors in order to develop some new, more sustaining ones. The other piece that's important here is how do you move energy through your body? What works for you on a day where you do perhaps feel sunk by something that's going on in the world? And I wrote a social media post about this last week on Facebook and Instagram. What works for you? Is it going for a walk? Is it sitting quietly and letting yourself feel the grief, the shock, the anger, whatever it is that needs to move through your system so that you can transmute it, but also be with it and recognize it's there? Perhaps you need some practices if you're feeling overwhelmed, or you just need to simply identify, well, I'm feeling triggered. What are the things that are going to soothe me or help me get back to normal? Help me get back to a place where I can feel like I have capacity for the world again. That's the other way that empaths are being taught endurance right now through this time. So it's a catch-22. The overwhelm that you feel can also be the teacher of your future. It can tell you that something's off balance and you need to find a new relationship to the way you're engaging with the outer world, with a set of circumstances, with a group of people. Overwhelm is a great signal to us that we need to do something different. So if you're in that place, do whatever it is that you need to do to help you transmute a lot of what you're feeling in the outside world, especially if you're intuitive to energy. Some days you can just feel it. It's like a weather front moves in and it's what's going on in the world on a fear or a sadness or an anger level. The next theme is progress versus or with humanity. And this relates to truth tellers becoming more empowered and support coming from more people as a global population around truth tellers. So there are certain things going on our planet right now that aren't necessarily the best for us and the future of our humanity in a balanced world. And as we go through the next few years, we're going to learn more and more about the behind the scenes of some of these things. And so it's going to be an edgy time. And I've talked about this before. Those of you who are already privy to some of the things in our world that are completely out of balance or, worst case scenario, corrupt. As more of this starts to spread into the general population, there are going to be people who are shocked by it. Of course, there are going to be people who fight it and resist hearing it. But there is also going to be an incredible wave of support because of evidence. And we're entering a new phase with that now, was the message. So this month onwards, we're going to start to see more support from people around the truth being told about certain aspects of the way our lives are being handled, directed, or run that is not healthy for us. So by all means, that doesn't mean stop being vigilant or just think everything is going to be okay. We all do need to take part in standing up for what we believe in, and that will be something we'll be called to do in the coming years. But you will start to see more of a wave of truth. But never forget that someone who doesn't want to see something a certain way, there's usually a very strong emotion that prevents them from being open to it. So try and have some compassion for whatever emotion it is that they're holding on to or trying to avoid by not wanting to believe that the sky is actually blue. You'll figure that out as you go, but I know for many of you who tune in on videos like mine and others, that's really important to you. But try not to get too lost in your fear about people not getting certain things that you wish they would, because then you're kind of in the same war. Do your best to explain what you know, what you feel is true, and present it in a way that people can come to it and find their own truth within it. Because as we know right now, there are lots of fights going on the planet around truth and lots of battles. And of course, they don't necessarily help us either. So be mindful in the minefield of the truth debate. And if you are feeling overwhelmed by that too, know when it's time to just step back and step out and replenish yourself by focusing back on the present moment, the life that we're living, the body that we have, the nature around us, whatever it is that works for you. Be careful you don't get too fried in that department. Some of you will be fried in that department right now because we're about to have a wider wave go into the world. And sometimes before you retire from something, you have a big exhaustion moment. Just before you're about to cross a finish line, you're at the end of your rope. So if you're in that camp, just bear that in mind and pay attention over the next few months to see the the truth beginning to spread a little bit more and become a bit more part of the dialogue with people. Okay, but this is the next theme. What do you feel inside you when it comes to the truth of things? Is it more important for you to be right about the truth than to be inclusive to others? Now, this is a tricky one. They gave me this one this morning and I'm like, well, okay, that can contradict certain things. But what they mean is, when we want to be right about something, we're in an energy of fight and we're trying to push our agenda onto someone else. And none of us like it when people do it to us. And certainly there's been plenty of cause for that over the last couple of years. However, bear that in mind. What do you feel inside you when it comes to the truth of things? Is it more important for you to be right about something than to be inclusive to someone else? And if you're around someone who wants to pulverize your truth, that's a boundary too. You don't have to be pushed into someone else's truth. So this is a contentious energy that I'm talking about at the moment because of everything that's gone on the last 2 years. So be mindful around the very spiky edge in those kinds of conversations. And if you're feeling a little fragile, know when to choose to have the conversation and when not to, because there's a massive shift going on around truth right now on the planet, and it's going to continue through the rest of the year. But we're entering a new era in this month, apparently. Practice allowing change to happen in your life by staying present as much as possible in June. Then the future will take care of itself. Now, if you're a bit of a futurist like I am, that's advice that I will need to heed also, because often when you're someone who is conceiving of the future, visioning the future, building the future, we tend to be in the future timeline as much as the present. But the advice for June is, as much as you can be in the present, the more you will start to see things unfold around you and through you, rather than you having to make things happen. And the flip side of that piece of advice is, if you're desperately trying to make things happen in June and things aren't working, pay attention, because only you will suffer. There will be a natural flow to things in June, and for many of us, it will just require us being as present as we can with what's right in front of us, and then the future will play out from there. So this isn't a good month for pushing anything, for trying to make something happen, for going against the flow. There is a reset energy in June that's coming in. So be mindful of that. And again, for those of you that do allow yourselves to be more present than you ever are with your kids, with your family, with what's right in front of you that day, and as much as you can, focusing on the present moment, the present interaction you're having, the present feeling or thought you're having, without having to do something from it. You'll be surprised how productive this month will be, but it won't necessarily come from old style pushing or building. It will be you entering into this new phase and space of watching the momentum unfold around you from a very centered place. That's the ask that is being given to many of us this month. Stopped plans and momentum. This is more of a summer as a whole theme. So the message was, there will be timeline changes in summer. So you may have some things that you're planning for the rest of the year. You may have some things that you're wanting to move around. And I know that many of us the last couple of years, of course, have had many of our plans stopped, halted, interrupted. This is different to that, because I asked about that immediately. And they were like, no, this is an energetic thing. There will be shifts in the timelines in the next 3 to 4 months. So don't be too surprised if something that you were working on or walking towards gets stopped or gets adjusted. You don't need to worry about it. There's a reason for it, and it's happening to lots of us. There is a cosmic force at work around the destiny path that we're all on globally at the moment, and that can alter some of our personal plans. So you don't need to grieve if that happens, because quite quickly, if you accept the change and you allow the next thing to come in, you'll be shown what the next thing is quite fast. If you grieve, resist, fight, you're going to be given more time so that you can burn off those feelings, so that you can use this reaction you're having to heal a bit more. But if you're able to come to acceptance faster than you perhaps normally would, you'll be amazed how quickly other things will come into play. But don't be too surprised if there are timeline changes through the summer. June is bringing a reset space. So if you're listening to this at the beginning of the month going, I don't know what he's talking about, by the end of June, you might have more of a sense of what this is to do with. So the last theme is love is the answer. Where can you find, nurture, or create it? Where can you find, nurture, or create love? So can you give love to somebody? Can you give love to yourself? Especially on those days where you feel a little bit at the end of your rope, try and remember love is the answer. And if you can find a way to reconnect with love in those moments, it will take you out of fear or grief or reaction or whatever's going on in the collective. The love that we show each other and share with each other is so important. It really is our life force. When you think about it, love is the connective life force between all of us. So wherever you can make love the answer, and wherever love being the answer is supported, what I mean is, if you're hanging out with your cousin and you're trying to generate love with your cousin and your cousin's not into it, let them be. They don't want to play love as the answer. Let them be and let them be them, and either go and generate it for or by yourself, or find other people where you can generate it. Love will be the answer to our fatigue. Love will be the answer to our empathy fatigue. Love will be the answer to any struggles that we're going through. See where you can create, cultivate it. And then when you do that, it makes your possibilities in the world stronger. So let's say you're backed into a really difficult corner right now by life circumstances or by something that you're going through. We feel distraught. We don't tend to make good decisions. But when we can come back to our heart, the love inside us, the love around us, the love that's available to us, that energy of support, which is what love is, brings us back to a place where we can start to see possibilities. And it's like, okay, maybe I can just make one small change over here, and then that will lead to this small change over here. So love is the answer. Thank you everyone for tuning in. In a moment, I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of my Boundaries Masterclass, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. But I wanted to tell you that in September, we are bringing out my new book. It's called Conversations with the Z's. For those of you who don't really know my work, apart from these energy updates, one aspect of my work is channeling. I get the themes of these months from my guides, who I've been channeling for 25 years. And Conversations with the Z's is a brand new series where psychotherapist Diana Edwards interviews me while I'm channeling my guides. And the conversations are very grounded, humorous, fascinating, how it all intersects energetically and how energy moves through our lives and influences who we are as a humanity. Book 1 of Conversation with the Z's is coming out in September and is available for pre-order now. I'll be doing some fun live events for those of you who pre-order, so check out the link below and that will be out in September. I'm doing a free solstice broadcast on June the 21st. If you've been around me for a couple of years, you know that solstice in June and in December is a day that I like to do a free full-length broadcast for those of you who want to join. It's called Vision because it's all about the coming 6 months. So I'll take a deep dive look at June to December of this year. I'll also channel live on that video. So if you'd like to join for Vision, it's completely free. You just have to sign up. June 21st, links are below. The Portal is my monthly members community, and it's a sanctuary for sensitives, and it's a place where you can go deeper with my work and also the work of a few other people. I have a guest teacher every month who brings an exclusive class to the Portal. I do a 90-minute plus deep dive video broadcast where I also channel my guides on what's going on with everything in the world right now. I answer questions. I go deeper on many of the themes of the energy update in different ways. There are so many different things in there, and this month the 2 brand new MP3s that we have added are 2 energy alchemy meditations. They're about 24 minutes long each. Be present and be grounded. That was what I heard for this month that we were going to create, and they're set to music, and there's so many goodies in the Portal, so check it out if you haven't. If you'd like to join us for a month and see if it's for you, we'd love to have you. And last but not least, here is a little bit of information about my Boundaries Masterclass. Take care, everyone. I will see you next month. Look after yourselves. Healthy boundaries are a huge part of how we preserve our life force, our energy, and also authentically move through the world. And yet so many of us were never taught boundaries. We weren't shown what healthy boundaries look like, and so many of us have learned about boundaries the hard way. I've been teaching on boundaries for several years in all aspects of my work, but it was time to bring it all together in a Boundaries Masterclass. The video teaching covers many modules. I walk you through the different areas of boundaries, boundary types, and talk about why, as an empathic or sensitive person, boundaries might be something you avoid. Not many of us are willing to go through the discomfort or the uncertainty of setting boundaries in our lives, and that's what I guide you through step by step. The 32-page workbook I've created for you has additional teaching and also self-inquiry exercises that will let you get to the heart of some of your own patterns and behaviors around boundaries. One of my favorite aspects of the masterclass is I invited my friend Meg Fennick to join me in several video role-play demonstrations. We walk you through several different scenarios so that you can learn through the role play and also perhaps have some insights and some healing around your own existing dynamics as you watch and learn. Stephen Washington has a wonderful Boundaries Qigong sequence, which is a bonus in the course. There is a full channeled recording called Boundaries and Connection, set to music, and explains the metaphysics of boundaries and how they work in our lives. And there is also a brand new live channel from the Z's called The Abundance of Our Spirit and Soul. One of the many points they share is that when we set boundaries in our life, we're actually allowing ourselves to create the future. Lastly, the whole thing is finished with a Q&A session. The first students to take the Boundaries Masterclass submitted a wide range of questions, and I picked a cross-section of those and answer as many as I can to give you an extra layer of understanding and learning around the boundary dynamics that you may want to improve in your life. You will have lifetime access to all of the video teaching, the workbook, and the audio. You can even share with other participants on the comment boards inside the course so that you can also learn from each other's experiences. If the Boundaries Masterclass feels right for you, we would love to have you join us in there, and I would love to guide you through a process which you will lead yourself through so that you can upshift your boundaries in a way that will not only enhance your life, but perhaps encourage some of your friends, loved ones, and people close to you that they also are allowed to have healthy boundaries in their life. Hope to see you inside the course.